Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's broadcast of the SimPossible MS4 Truck Series live from Eldora Speedway in Rossburg, Ohio. I am joined by Cameron Rich and Carlos Acosta doing all the camera work behind the scenes here on 3 Wide TV. I am Peter Short broadcasting here tonight, and Cameron, I think we're going to be throwing up some mud tonight.
Oh yeah, Peter, I'm so excited about this race. It's going to be so cool. So different than the rest of the races we ran this season. Of course, last week we were at Pocono Raceway, the big 2.5 mile triangle. This week, half mile, moderately banked dirt track. So, going to be interesting to see what these guys do tonight.
Yeah, I've literally had this race circled since the beginning of the season because I love watching these trucks on dirt. These 3,400-pound machines with gobs and gobs of horsepower trying to make their way around a half-mile track. They're sliding in the corners. You see AJ Digby and Christopher Burge there have a little bit of contact, but you'll see these trucks get about 30, 45 degrees sideways, somewhere in between there, just to work their way around. And the saying, you got to turn right to turn left here, really is true.
Oh, absolutely, and especially with these trucks. These, of course, much different than, say, a dirt late model or sprint car that you usually see at this track. Those, of course, have suspension tuning and all that stuff that makes them want to race on dirt. Of course, these are just your normal garden variety trucks, per se, but not tuned well at all to drive on this track, which is actually why it's such a good race, because you see right here Eric Minch running right next to that wall. I think that's going to be the preferred line tonight. You can see one aspect of the dirt track. You can see that dirt piled up high on the wall, and it creates kind of a cushion, a little bit more banking on that cushion, so you can really ride it up there, and it gives you a lot of speed.
Yeah, Eldora, though, is variably banked, so we'll definitely be able to see a little bit of passing here tonight. We'll see that high line probably will be the best line, but we do reset the track state for the race. So right now you're seeing all these guys out on a very well-used circuit, and before the race starts we're going to reset to a much lower state. So we'll get to see the track conditions change throughout tonight's 75-lap feature race. And last week at Pocono, it was all about aerodynamics and getting all the cars, keeping them clean, and we talked about how it was important to keep the car clean. Here tonight, I think the wall's going to be the friend of some of these drivers, because I've already seen quite a few drivers go up there and kiss the wall through turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So both ends of the racetrack, these drivers flirting with that wall, and we see that whenever the real NASCAR boys come here, that wall tends to be the friends of drivers like Kyle Larson. And it really makes for an interesting race here tonight. Well, we have about 4 minutes left here in practice. All the drivers are slowly headed out here, and there is the number 26 of Tanner Sharp. In fact, Tanner Sharp getting some big news this week. Tanner Sharp in that number 26 team, he has left the Rebel Racing team. Well, he will leave the Rebel Racing team at the end of the season, I should say. But when the B-Car season starts here in just a few weeks, he will actually be racing for his own team instead of Rebel Racing. I'll be interested to hear what Rebel Racing team owner Levi Zielinski has to say about that. But currently your points leader Tanner Sharp will be leaving Rebel Racing at the end of the season.
Yeah, and of course that team very dominant in this circuit so far, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But on your screen right now, you do see the drivers lining up on the bottom of the track. They are going to be doing a 3-wide salute to SimPossible driver Tom Johnson's son, who unfortunately passed away 3 years ago today. He would have been 26 years old, so just a little bit of a tribute here. Just to, I see Tom Johnson here going to be leading the pack around the track, but really no better tribute to a fallen driver and friend than watching race cars go around like this.
Yeah, we will have a moment of silence here on 3 Wide TV while these drivers take their trucks around the track in memoriam of Tom's son.
All right. Well, after that, it was a great show by these drivers. I want to correct a little miscue I said earlier. It would have been Tom Johnson's son's 26th birthday today. It was not the anniversary of his death. But anyway, it's great to see that. Great gesture by these drivers. But we are in qualifying now. A little bit of a change this week to the qualifying format. Going to be doing single car qualifying as opposed to the group qualifying that we've been accustomed to, but see on the track right now is Nate Catilla riding that high line pretty well.
Yeah, ooh, he just clipped the wall there, and that's what I was just about to mention. Here at Eldora, the fastest line is up there on the cushion, but in qualifying, if you clip that wall, iRacing will say no, 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 and they'll disqualify your lap. So that lap won't count for Nate Catilla because he caught the wall coming out of turn number 2 in that number 4 MS Ford Chevrolet. He's looking to possibly be a little bit lower on the track this lap, maybe just make sure he gets that lap in for iRacing to count it. He's running the middle groove through turns number 3 and 4 and to the line. He's going to put in his time a 19.827. He goes top of the board. Eric Minch currently in second. Tim Masters, newcomer to the league, is in the 3rd position, although very briefly as Tanner Sharp now jumps up to the 3rd position with a 20.06. Tom Johnson is 5th, and Thomas Wise in the 1 truck. He's actually just going to drop down to 7th as Chris Roberge slots in the 6th position. And there is the number 13 of Alan Capers on the track currently in that bright purple machine. He's going to come to the line. This will be his first time lap that he's on right now. Heading down the backstretch, and you see him turning that wheel quite a bit to the right to keep that number 13 truck going straight. He's running a little bit lower on the track than we've seen some of the others run, but he's going to come to the line, get his first lap time in. It's going to be a 19.784. Move Alan Capers to the top of the board. Cameron, it looks like maybe we got some speed down low on the track early in the run.
Oh yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised what these guys are running. I thought, like you said, everybody would be up right next to that wall, but there is quite a bit of speed. I guess with the track being a little bit fresher for qualifying, going to be a little bit easier to run down there. But yeah, 13 of Alan Capers, that's a great lap put up by him so far.
Yeah, we have AJ Digby here on the track in the number 14 machine. He's just ran a 19.7, so move AJ Digby to the top of the board as Billy Wise has just joined the session. We'll have to see if Billy Wise can get on track before qualifying ends, but Digby pushing for this the second lap here, and not going to improve. He's about a 10th off of his first lap. In fact, exactly 1/10 off of his first lap is Kyle Zimmer now on track in that number 25. And one thing we do want to mention is down in the description of this video, if you're watching on YouTube, we do have a link to a memorial video of Tom Johnson's son, Nick Johnson. Go check that out. It's a very touching video to watch. A great memorial video put together by Tom. And really, just our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family as they go through. This must be a tough time for them, but Tom Johnson currently sitting 8th on the board, trying to put together a good show for us here tonight at Eldora as we have about a minute and a half left in qualifying.
And one thing I want to point out, Peter, is a lot of the drivers were saying that this might be a good opportunity to see a new winner this season or this race. And those 2 Rebel trucks of Zimmer and Sharp currently 6th and 7th. That's 1st and 3rd in points. So really going to be awesome to see if we can get that tonight.
Yeah, last week at Pocono Raceway, if you did not watch it, we got a first-time winner this season. Doug McCollum got the checkered flag there at Pocono in an absolute thrilling finish. He led only 1 lap in that race. If you did not watch the Pocono race, go back, check it out, because it was an absolute thriller all the way to the end. And, man, it was a pretty spectacular last lap put together by Doug McCollum to get his first win. And hopefully we can get another first-time winner here tonight around the dirt of Eldora.
Interesting, Peter. The fastest in practice, David Wilson, looks like he's not going to take a time. He's not come out of pit road yet, and definitely not going to have any time to get around and make a lap.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would have expected Dave to go out there and turn a lap. I think it seems like he tried to get 1 lap in qualifying And looks like he scrubbed the wall a little bit on entry into turn number 1, so that disqualified his first lap. And not quite sure what happened on his second lap. Trying to go back and watch the replay. Looks like he might have clipped the wall on his second lap as well. So it might not have been that he was not trying to qualify, but just that he clipped the wall and got his lap times disqualified by iRacing. So that will set up the field as all of these drivers now will be gridding on the circuit. Let's take you through the starting lineup. Starting on the pole is driver number 14 machine, AJ Digby, winner earlier this year at Indianapolis. Starting to his outside, the bright purple number 13 of Alan Capers.
Row 2 heard a lot of discussion about these two trucks, Nate Catilla and Eric Minch.
Starting on row number 3 is Tim Masters in the number 9 and Rebel Racing's number 25 of Kyle Zimmer.
Row number 4 is Tanner Sharp and Tom Johnson.
Starting on row number 5, we have the number 98 of Chris Roberge and the number 1 of Thomas Wise.
Starting 11th is position number 2 in points, David Wilson, and to his outside we have the 3 of Tim Connolly.
Starting in the 13th position, we have Billy Wise, who did not get a lap time in practice, and Kevin Cochran will start in the 14th position in number 80. Starting shotgun on the field yet again for the umpteenth time this season is Brian Lowhead in that number 66 truck. As you see all these fireworks down on the back stretch as these fans here at Eldora are getting treated to a fireworks show before the start of this one. But I think the fireworks will really be on the racetrack here tonight.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. Like you said, Peter, I've had this race circled all season, and we're going to see some absolutely awesome racing. These drivers put on a fantastic show every week, of course, but you know, just something about dirt racing in general is just special.
Yeah, it's definitely different. A lot of these drivers won't be accustomed to it necessarily. I'm sure some of these drivers have gone out and done some dirt racing. In fact, I'm looking up and down through the field. Kevin Cochran is a Class B on dirt. Brian Lowhead, Class C. Billy Wise, Class C. Thomas Wise, Class D. David Wilson's a Class B, so looks like most of the field has gone out and done some form of dirt racing, so they do have some expertise, but it's going to be a completely different show, lugging around 3,400 pounds in these trucks as the green flag waves here at Eldora, and it's a good start by AJ Digby on the inside. You see that number 14 truck already getting a little bit sideways on entry to the corner. Alan Capers to his outside. Look at Eric Minch in the 01 machine. He's trying to get forward, and the caution has come out here at Eldora. Oh, looks like Tim Connolly's upside down on the backstretch. Looks like he's gotten back right side up in that number 3 truck. And we've got a couple more trucks involved in that one. There's Tanner Sharp in the 26. He's got some front end damage. Now, one thing to note is, looks like it happened a little bit further up. Tim Connolly up there by the wall. I think Tim might have been having some rig issues on that number 3 machine. Tim's running a SimAbility rig, and he just got it last week, and last week was his first race with it, so definitely I would expect a little bit of teething pain from getting used to a new setup. I know when I've had new setups in the past, it takes me a while to get used to them, so I'm sure Tim is having to experience that as well. As you see the 4 of Nate Catilla on pit road. These drivers do have fast repairs. We've got 5 fast repairs tonight since it is a short track event, and some drivers electing to use their fast repairs already.
Absolutely, and to add a point about the rig, this is a tough track even if you're accustomed to it. So really, if you're getting used to a new one, it really is, it's very, very demanding on all of that. So really not the track you want to be testing a new rig on, but you know, you got to go out there and do it anyway.
Yeah, it really is a tough track. You know, like you said, and a couple drivers who got involved in that wreck, some of them didn't even come down pit road. They got some damage, but I think they realized that this is Eldora. You're going to end up with some damage on your truck at some point. But there are some really short yellows at this track as the pace car dives back down pit road. Going to put it back in the hands of AJ Digby and see if we can get some green flag running. As the green flag back in the air here, Digby once again gets a great start down there on the inside. Alan Capers holding tough around the outside of that number 13. Look at those trucks sideways and look at Capers. He's going to get a great run out of turn number 2, but Digby did just as good down there on the low line. We're seeing these lines. Ooh, look at the 13, Alan Capers. He's sideways. He's all the way down in the inside, and he's sideways through all the way through the center of the track. He's able to keep that 13 pointed straight, though.
That truck was all sorts of sideways, and good save there, though. Once you get that wobble, as you say, it's really hard to save that truck, but he did a great job saving it.
Dave Wilson, he started down in the 11th position. We said that he didn't get a qualifying lap time in. To move him up into the 4th position, he's just got around Tim Masters. You see him bouncing off the wall. We were mentioning that earlier, how these drivers in practice were bouncing off the wall, and it's like Dave Wilson already starting to do so here in the race. Ooh, Alan Capers might have got a little bit of a love tap there from Eric Minch. Minch going to his outside, move Eric Minch up into the 2nd place in that number 01 machine. Capers now electing to run down there on the inside line. That's where he ran to set his great qualifying lap time. Looks like AJ Digby, though, has gotten out to about a 1.8 second lead here, as we have a caution at Eldora. I think it might be Tim Connolly's trying to get up to speed in that number 3 machine. There's really not much room right off the pit road, and I think he was just trying to get up to speed. So I think it was a possible coding issue on the iRacing side, because Tim was just getting up to speed there, and he came off pit road. He was adhering to the pit road speed limit, and unfortunately it triggered a yellow flag by the iRacing service. Don't think that would have been a yellow flag in real life, but it seems like the iRacing service has thrown the yellow flag, so that'll kind of calm everyone down a little bit. And Dave Wilson now has worked his way up into the 3rd position in that number 20 truck. I think he's really hunting that lead here at Eldora, running some great lap times.
Oh yeah, that 20 was bad fast, and he was running all over the track, right next to the wall, on both ends of the track, right up next to the outside and inside wall. But I think it's a matter of time before he's pounding down for that lead.
I'm sure AJ Digby will be watching that number 20 in his rearview mirror very closely once we do get back to green flag racing. I want to keep an eye out on Tanner Sharp. He told me that this is his first ever truck race on dirt in that number 26 machine. He currently leads the points by 8 points over David Wilson. And Tanner, he didn't seem overly enthusiastic about his chances here tonight, but he's a good driver. He stays with it. He learns a lot very quickly in that number 26 truck. He's ridden himself off a few times this year, but he always ends up with a good finish, so wouldn't be at all surprised if he comes home with a good finish here tonight, as we're still in the early stages at Eldora, and I expect to see the pace car turn left here and back onto pit road. Puts the race back into the hands of AJ Digby as everyone gets going here once again. Oh, look at Eric Mitch. He gets into the wall. Everyone scatters to avoid him. Everyone does a great job. Everyone now going straight. We're still green here at Eldora. And the 13 of Alan Capers as we have a caution back out on the racetrack. Ooh, the 4 of Nate Catilla's gone around.
Yeah, and to go back to that restart, it's so easy to spin the tires here because, of course, tires on dirt usually don't work that great.
Oh, it looks like Thomas Wise was up there at the top. Might have got that truck pitched just a little bit sideways. He hit the berm, and the berm just kind of shot him right down the racetrack, right into the side of Nate Catilla. That berm kind of has a tendency to do that. If you hit it just wrong, it can really play with your car, shoot it down the track. It's one of those things you're kind of playing with fire up there on the berm.
Yeah, and these trucks, as opposed to like a dirt late model or so, they don't pitch in the corners very well. So they kind of have a tendency to do exactly what we just saw, kind of just slide down the track like they aren't even really hooked up. But that's kind of a, that's kind of a truck on dirt thing you see very often.
Yeah, I was watching some official races last week, because last week the iRacing C-Class series was at Eldora, and I saw that in quite a few races that I got to watch. So definitely happens. I think it's just a matter of having 3,400 pounds for each of these cars on the track. I mean, all the dirt cars you see, the late models, even some of the more basic cars like the factory stocks, they're nowhere near as heavy as these trucks. So it definitely factors into how these trucks handle. As pace car lights are off yet again, Cameron.
Yeah, and gonna see how these drivers tackle this restart. We saw the 01 have some issues there, but the pace truck is off, and we are green. David Wilson gets a really good restart on the outside. I think he can actually take the lead. No, he's not. He's actually going to back off there and pitch it high up there. Gonna get a good run through turn number 2 here and take the lead here, I think. Yep, he does.
Yeah, great run off of turn number 2 by Dave Wilson in that number 20. He's using that berm to its full advantage. Contact in the back of the pack. It's not in the screen. It's Billy Wise. Tom Johnson involved. Yellow flag is out. I think it was just a few trucks got a little bit sideways, and it was a little bit of contact. Not really sure if that was anyone's fault. You're riding on board with Tom Johnson. Watch right in front of you as Chris Roberge kind of came down. Billy Wise was there, and unfortunately Wise shot up the track, and Tom Johnson had nowhere to go. Hard hit for that number 56 truck. Luckily, that 56 truck is still going. He's got some damage, but it doesn't have a blown motor. Let's watch this again, Cameron.
Yeah, just the product of the racing there at Eldora. You see, really, there's no one line that people are running. They run all over the track, and it kind of just equates to some contact here and there. And you know, we see that, and not much you can do about it, especially when you're in Tom Johnson's position. There's nowhere to go. And of course, Peter, as you know, the brakes don't work at all on this dirt surface when you try to slow down for a wreck.
Yeah, there's no ABS on these trucks, so when you hit that brake, it has a tendency to A, not stop, and B, pitch your trucks very sideways. So if we see anyone slam on the brakes here tonight, I'm sure we'll see these trucks lurch sideways because of all the brake bias they have on the rear end of their car. And it's an interesting thing here at Eldora. How much do you use the brake? Some drivers like to use the brake to help the car pitch into the corner, at least a slight amount. Other drivers tend to just throw it in there and hope it sticks.
Yeah, there's really one way to drive a dirt track, which is why it's so exciting to watch. But pace truck, lights are off. These short cautions are very awesome. I wish every track had these. Yeah,
I completely agree. But yeah, definitely getting that variation in how the track wears and how the track is set up at any one given time can give one driver an advantage just based on their driving style. Speaking of driving style, everyone likes to go fast, and Dave Wilson hard on the pedal as they dive off into turn number 1. Surprised he didn't take the outside line because he was so good on that last restart. Oh, look at AJ Digby right up on the back bumper of Dave Wilson as you see everyone scattered going down the back stretch. Dave Wilson pitching it in to turn number 1. AJ Digby right behind him. 13 of Alan Capers right behind him is Eric Minch and Capers side by side a little bit.
Oh, 98's around.
The 98 of Chris Roberge is around on the front stretch. Yellow flag back in the air here at Eldora Speedway.
Yeah, lots of contact all over the field, but a lot of good racing too. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah, I was watching some of those trucks back there, and there was definitely some beating and banging, especially on that last restart. Not this restart, but the one before. There were some trucks banging fenders and getting some donuts on the side as you ride on board with Roberge. I don't think he had any contact from Tanner Sharp. He might have just got the power down a little bit too much, and there was a little bit of contact.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, that's enough to just upset the truck just a little bit when it's already not handling that well.
Stack up here under yellow. It's like some trucks were trying to pit, and some just kind of ran into each other.
Yeah, and I think we also have some wave arounds here, like Billy Wise, Tim Connolly, and Thomas Wise. So I think they were trying to get around to do their wave around, and oof. Yeah, definitely contact there. Nate Catilla in that 4. I think Nate was one of those drivers who was getting waved around, and I think he wasn't expecting anyone to pit in that 4 truck, but a couple of drivers did decide to pit, and that just caused a stack up here. And ooh, look at that! And that's what we were just talking about just a few minutes ago. The brakes just don't like to work here on dirt.
Yeah, and of course, one thing we want to mention is on these dirt races, there is no tires and fuel to be taken, so the only reason these drivers are pitting would be to get a fast repair.
Yeah, and we see a couple of these trucks needing to use that fast repair at this junction in the race. And I'm sure it won't be the last time they use a fast repair, because this track is pretty treacherous. As the pace car is off, and we're back to green flag racing. Looks like the number 20 of Dave Wilson. He's going to take the inside once again. He got a great restart that last time. Look at him dive it down off into turn number 1. He used up all the track coming off of turn number 2 and moved Dave Wilson back up to the point. AJ Digby right behind him. He's trying to fend off Alan Capers in the number 13. Look at Kevin Cochran in the number 80. Good showing from him as we have caution once again here at Eldora.
Kevin Cochran up to 4th, started 14th, so good showing by him.
Yeah, definitely a good showing by him. I think Cochran is slowly just stayed out. He has some damage on that number 80 truck, but he's moved his way up into the 4th position. He is a Class B dirt driver, so he's gotten quite a bit of track time on dirt. So we'll have to keep an eye out on him here in this event, as we still have 46 laps to go here.
I don't think we were able to show it on the broadcast, but the field was not organized at all on that last restart. There was about 2 or 3 packs. Second pack was about 5 or so seconds behind the first one. I guess because of that little stack up on pit road, people just weren't able to get situated in time.
Yeah, I think that was probably the case, as I know some of those drivers near the back, they were probably a little bit frustrated, but, you know, we got another yellow, and that means they'll be able to catch back up to the back of this field, as you see that Chevy Silverado pace truck go around. It's got some chrome on that front end of that truck, and I bet some of these drivers wish they had the ability to add some chrome to their trucks, because chrome looks pretty good, and hopefully one day iRacing decides to throw that into these paint schemes that you can create for all these cars, because all these paint schemes that you're seeing are they're all custom made. Everyone out here on track gets a custom scheme painted, and they all look pretty cool.
Yeah, actually Brian Simpson, the head painter of iRacing, said that was in development, but as usual with iRacing, we never know when that's going to happen. But anyway, we do know that the restart is going to happen. Pace truck is off. Nate Catilla is getting his wave around, which is kind of weird there. But we're going green. Dave Wilson is away. AJ Digby right with him. Great restart for him. They're going to send it off into turn 1. Digby's going to get a really good run on this high side. Wilson's going to take that away from him. So here comes Kevin Cochran up to 3rd place. Really good run for him. He's making moves and not taking any prisoners.
Oh, and the 13 of Alan Capers gets really sideways. He has to back out of it. He kept it going straight. Good on him for keeping it straight, but he's going to lose a lot of track position. He's down now back to about the 8th position in that number 13 machine. So move the 80 of Kevin Cochran up into 3rd. Tanner Sharp now 4th in that number 26 Mountain Dew Chevrolet. He's going to try and chase down that number 80, see if he can get up into the 4th position. Right behind him is Kyle Zimmer as you look off the nose of the number 26. There's Nate Catilla. We just mentioned him. He got his wave around really late. Nate's been involved in a few accidents, but he's currently on the lead lap in this race. He's just about 12.5 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, that 4 car, I was talking about this earlier. He's a real dark horse for this race. Watched him in the test race they ran earlier in the week, and that car had a lot of speed, so if he can get his track position back, watch out for him. Tanner Sharp battling here for, I think that's position number 4 with the 9 of Tim Masters. No, that would be for 5th, excuse me. He was not happy about his chances tonight, but he's running pretty well, and you know, he's got to be learning a lot just running around cars here.
Yeah, he's definitely, he got involved in, I think, the first caution here tonight, but otherwise he's kept that number 26 truck pretty clean after using his fast repairs. But let's keep an eye on that number 9 of Tim Masters. He's new to the series, and he's running now up inside the top 5 as he's running right up there next to the wall using that berm to its full advantage. You can just see what that berm does. It just shot that. Oh, look at the number 13, Alan Capers pulled the slide job on Tanner Sharp. And what a wheelman, keeping that thing going straight. There he goes again, man. He's pitching that truck more sideways, and contact with Tanner Sharp. The 13 in the wall, and Chris Roberge had nowhere to go. The yellow flag here out at Eldora. That's as I was saying, what a wheelman, keeping that thing completely sideways. I think he got a piece of the commentator's curse there, as unfortunately he got around and brought out this yellow flag, as we are now at halfway. Halfway was led by Dave Wilson, so that's a bonus point for that number 20 truck, as you see the replay right there.
Yeah, and one driver that was really hoping to see that caution and is going to be extremely happy is Nate Catilla. He was battling for not the lead, but first place on track with Dave Wilson trying to keep his lead lap spot, and he actually kept it. So as I was saying, that 4 car has a lot of speed, so watch out for him if he can get track position back.
Yeah, definitely. The 4 has been really fast, as you see. Billy Wise, he's getting, that's Billy Wise out there. He's getting one of his laps back. He's many laps down. He's actually going to be 7 laps down. Eric Minch also getting a wave around. That number 01 will be back on the lead lap. So we'll have 13 trucks on the lead lap.
Billy actually had some connection issues before the race, and unfortunately a little while ago actually dropped out during, so not the night he's looking for, but still in it, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah, so we have 13 cars on the lead lap. Unfortunately, Billy Wise had a little bit of issues. Let's just reset the top 10 for you. Pace car lights are off. We'll go back to green. Currently leading the race is David Wilson. AJ Digby is 2nd. Kevin Cochran 3rd. Kyle Zimmer 4th. Tim Masters 5th. Tanner Sharp 6th. Brian Lowhead starting shotgun. He's up to 7th. Chris Roberge 8th. Nate Catilla now 9th. 10th is Thomas Wise. As we said, pace car off. Green flag back in the air here at Eldora. And good start by that number 20. We'll have to see if that low line can just stay. Oh, look at the number 14 of AJ Digby. He's looking for the overrunner. It looks like everyone in the wall.
Ooh, contact
everywhere. Bit of contact. Yeah, contact basically everywhere. Contact with the wall or the truck beside you, but AJ Digby's trying to take that lead away from Wilson, not able to get a run through 3 and 4, and Dave Wilson keeps the lead.
Yeah, we saw David Wilson actually send it off in the corner and pretty much just smack the wall as hard as he could. So we're going to see that a lot tonight. That's the best line right up next to that wall. You see Tim Masters here running it right behind Tanner Sharp. Going to do the old crossover and try to get under him. I don't think he's going to make it work. He does actually, so I'm wrong again.
Tanner Sharp looking to make this 3 wide. Oh, yeah. The door gets shut really quickly there. As Tim Masters says, hey, no, I'm going to take this spot. Tanner Sharp, he's running that higher line while Kevin Cochran's down there on the low line. And it looks like that high line seems to be working, as Cochran, he's lost the spot now to Tim Masters. He's moved up to the 3rd position on debut here. And Cochran, contact! That's teammate!
There they go.
Tanner Sharp got a clip from his teammate. Kyle Zimmer and those 2 Rebel Racing trucks are in the wall on the back straight as caution waves here at Eldora.
And Peter, rule number 1 of motor racing, never wreck your teammate. I don't think Levi Zielinski, team owner, is going to be too happy about that right there.
Yeah, it was just the slightest of contact in the left rear that's sent that number 26 Mountain Dew truck around. And there is the number 25 Airborne Graphics. Look at this. AJ Digby has decided to come down pit road. Not exactly sure why. He must have some damage that he wants to get fixed, because if he's trying to get tires here, he's going to be sadly disappointed, because they're not going to take any as he slides to a stop. In fact, he overshot his pit box just a little bit. So interesting call here by AJ Digby. He does take the fast repair, and he's coming back out onto the circuit. Maybe he got a meatball camera in. Maybe he hit the wall just a little bit too hard and got one of those meatball flags, we call them. It's the orange circle with a black background flag. It means you have to get all your damage repaired. But that's an interesting call for AJ Digby. That's a lot of track position he gave up.
Yeah, he could be. But we saw the 20 kind of pull away there on the last restart. So maybe he's betting on his ability to catch him with a fresh truck. So we'll see if that works or not. He's driving the truck, and we're just up here talking about it. I think he That might be a good call from him.
Yeah, pace car lights are off once again. We will go green with 27 laps here at Eldora left. Pace truck, excuse me, dives down pit road. Put the race in the hands of the number 20 of Dave Wilson. Maybe a little bit of wheel spin off the line. And we're going to keep an eye on Tim Masters in that number 9 truck. He's going to try and pull the over-under here. And, he almost pulled it up. Oh, Chris Roberge hard at the outside wall. Out of turn number 2. No caution here. Everyone's still running, but Roberge has a smoking number 98 hard in that outside wall. Dave Wilson's going to keep the race lead. Contact a little bit further back. We're 3 wide. Yellow flag is in the air here. I think it was Chris Roberge trying to get down pit road there that brought out the yellow flag.
Yeah, this pit road is a really tough one to get on. I'd say the hardest of all oval tracks because it's kind of hidden and it's a really sharp turn right in the middle of 3 and 4, right really in turn 4.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, and like we say, with these brakes being so difficult to control, it can be really tricky to even get your truck stopped to get down pit road. So that is one of the things that these drivers have to face here at Eldora. But we're under caution once again here as we have 23 laps or 24 laps to go. I'm looking at my live timing and scoring, and it actually goes down to the decimal. So it tells me we currently have 23.5 laps to go. Not sure that's very helpful, but 24 laps to go as these drivers make their way here under yellow through turns 3 and 4.
And real quick before we get back going green here, I want to give a shout out to our chatters in the YouTube link, Heartbeat Network. Loyal fan, watches every week, so we thank you so much for supporting us. Keith Chestnut, Tim Giles, and Grassroots Sim Racing, thank you all so much for chatting with us, and we hope you're enjoying the show. It's pretty fun from up here.
Yeah, like we said, this is one of the races we've been looking forward to all year long on dirt, so I'm glad that you guys have been able to join us on YouTube or iRacing Live, whatever the case may be, as these drivers are getting set to go back to green.
All right, pace truck is off. The 9 is actually pulled in front of Wilson, but that's not going to fly. But Wilson gets a great jump on the field, a little bit of wheel spin, no problem for him. We're 4 wide behind him. Oh my, contact everywhere. 80 of Kevin Cochran has actually moved into second place ahead of Masters. I think Masters going to get the run on the outside here. Contact in the back. Tom Johnson, a little bit issue there.
Yeah, I was watching.
They'll get back going.
Big wreck on the front stretch. Oh, Tanner Sharp's involved. Nate Catilla's flipping down the front stretch. AJ Digby, Alan Capers, and Nate Catilla has landed on top of Alan Capers' number 13 machine. Huge wreck coming off turn number 4. We'll try and see what happened here. There's Nate Catilla on board. Oh, looks like just a little bit of hooking on that number 13 machine, and oof! That heavy hit from Tanner Sharps sent that number 4 rolling down the front stretch.
Just a little bit of looseness there, and oh my God, I think Nate Catilla is going to be a little bit mad at me tonight because he was my dark horse pick to win, and he's not had a very good ride tonight.
Yeah, that's the second time he's had a blown motor on that number 4 machine. Had to take a quick tow back to pit road. Look at this action. This was what I saw coming out of turn number 2, where you had Kyle Zimmer and the 25, those two teammates bouncing off of each other and riding on board with the 26 of Tanner Sharp. He just ended up with nowhere to go in that Mountain Dew Shriners Hospital 26 Rebel Racing truck. There he is. He's been able to get that truck back to pit road, so he will be able to use a fast repair without losing a lap. So he has reset that truck and back out there on track. Alan Capers did the same in the number 13 after that number 13 had the 4 on top of it very briefly. Unfortunately, Nate Catilla did have to take a tow here at Eldora as, Tom Johnson coming out. Look at, Tom Johnson came off pit road, and that pit road, we already said it's pretty treacherous. Tim Connolly proved it earlier that if you come off pit road, you can actually throw a caution just because of the angle and the speed that you come off pit road at. And there, when Tom Johnson came off pit road, there was the number 20 of Dave Wilson. But pace car lights are off. Man, I love these short cautions as the pace truck dives down pit road. There's the number 9 of that would be Tim Masters. He got a little bit of jump there yet again, but as we have another caution here on the racetrack, not sure what has happened. I think Thomas Wise in the number 1 might have been stopped in turn number 3. Not exactly sure what happened there. Ooh, looks like maybe a little bit of contact with Alan Capers, and those two trucks spun around.
Yeah, that's they're another product of just trying to get caught up back to the green. So a little bit of contact there. 16 laps to go now. We're getting down to the later stages of this race, so we're going to be done here in just a short bit.
Yeah, these laps at Eldora do wind down very quickly. Even if you're under yellow, you're still running very quick lap times here. In fact, under yellow flag, you're still running 39-second laps or thereabouts. So, you know, that's about the length of a lap at Daytona, even under the yellow flag. So even with these trucks going at 35 miles an hour, they're still getting around this place pretty quickly. And lap count is dropping quite rapidly as this time by. We'll only have 14 laps to go as you see a couple trucks getting the wave around.
Yeah, and real quick for the viewers right here, I want to show them what this track has done progression-wise. If you look at the right side of your screen right now, you see like the kind of black slick rubber right at the top of the track next to the wall. That's where all the trucks have been running, and that's actually the slick part of the track. So you should see trucks kind of moving around that because that is less grippier than the track around it.
Yeah, you see it's on entry right when those trucks pitch sideways to get into the corner. And if you can get your truck pitched well, which is kind of an art, it's a skill to get your truck pitched correctly. But that shiny slick area actually does kind of go away just a couple hundred feet into the corner. So if you can make it past that really slick, treacherous area, you can get some grip up there on that cushion. And that's what we've seen Dave Wilson able to do here all night, and that's why he's been pretty much the fastest truck all race in that number 20 Toyota Tundra. As pace truck lights are off once again, Cameron.
Yeah, we've seen the 20 get a good restart all night tonight. A little bit of wheel spin, but no problem for him. Looks like the 9 of Tim Masters has been pulling ahead a little bit. 32 of Billy Wise here, getting his wave around really late, but we are green again. 9 of Masters gets a great restart. He's actually going to pull ahead into turn 1, but Wilson right up on the side of him, going to be really close contact. Wilson's all out of shape, but he's going to get the lead back into turn number 3. Great move by him.
Yeah, and he slides up in front of Tim Masters in that number 9 truck in turn number 3. So Dave Wilson definitely didn't seem to be having anything of that move by Tim Masters.
Don't look now. Here's AJ Digby coming back.
Yeah, Digby was involved in that last accident a little bit. I think that truck was sideways, but he's worked his number 14 up into the 3rd position yet again, looking all over the back end of that number 9 of Tim Masters. We were saying just not too long ago that, you know, Digby came down pit road, gave up a lot of track position, but got a fresh truck with his fast repair, and definitely making the most of it as he's looking to get around that number 9. It doesn't look like anyone's venturing down to the bottom just yet. Digby's looking a little bit lower on the racetrack now, but not able to do it. As we look a little bit further back, there's Kevin Cochran in that number 80. He's got Kyle Zimmer in the 25 to his outside. That is a battle for the 5th position on the racetrack, and give it to Kyle Zimmer. Oh, look at this battle. This is Alan Capers and Christopher Burge. These two have been in the wars tonight. As right in front of them, they have Tanner Sharp and Nate Catilla. Looks like Catilla's gonna get ahead, but Catilla's actually lapped down. Oh, contact there between Tanner Sharp and Alan Capers, and Tanner Sharp goes around. Yellow flag back in the air here at Eldora.
Yeah, it just looks like Capers got got that good run off the corner and kind of just kind of pulled the 26 around with the way his truck was running. A little bit of contact there.
Yeah, just a little bit of contact. Looks like maybe Capers got a little bit sideways, and that 26 was coming up on the track. So I think it was more so 2 trucks coming to the same spot at the same time, a little bit of contact, and that was all it took to turn around that 26. Because these trucks being sideways, they're already kind of on the limit when they're that far sideways, and it just takes a little bit of nudge to
Yeah,
send the around.
and speaking of that, Peter, I kind of wanted to ask you this a little bit earlier in the race, but we haven't had any time to because of these short cautions, which are awesome. But really, you are a very good dirt driver yourself. What is the key to being successful in this race?
Man, I think, well, first off, the main key is keeping your truck clean, at least as clean as possible. But it seems like whenever I've driven dirt, it all comes down to throttle modulation. Throttle modulation is basically the most important thing on a dirt track. Trying to get those rear tires hooked up at the right time, and it can take getting the truck pitched just at a good angle where you can get your right rear tire on that berm and just control the throttle. If you hit the throttle too much, your truck will want to spin, and you won't be able to get that drive up off the corner. You get wheel spin or something of the sort, so you just have to modulate the throttle to get as good of a drive up off the corner. As the pace truck is about to come off here, this will be our final restart of the night. Only 5 laps left to go here at Eldora. This is go time. Look at Tim Masters. He's jumped ahead of that number 20 here once again. This is go time. Everyone hard on the gas. Dave Wilson, great restart, able to edge ahead. Look at this, 3 wide back behind, almost 4 wide back behind. Dave Wilson, contact. Eric mentioned the wall. Oh, the 25 gets into the 01. Here they go. Caution flag back in the air. Dave Wilson has won here at Eldora. Tanner Sharp in that number 26 has been a rough night for him. He ends up around. Let's watch what happened. I think it really happened when the 25, the 01 all got together right in front of us. Ooh, no, the 98 just clipped the back end of Tanner Sharp. Well, I say that. I think there was a couple of wrecks happening all at the same time. We'll have to see if we can get Eric Minch, a replay of Eric Minch there, because I think he was involved in a melee right in front of Tanner Sharp. You're not missing anything up in front. There's now 2 laps to go on the racetrack. Let's watch this replay of Eric Minch, because he was really going for it here. It's go time at Eldora, and I think Digby and Minch might have gotten together. It looked like they were going 3 wide through turn number 1, and ooh, they just made a little bit of contact with the door with the 14, and then the 25 of Kyle Zimmer, and I think that was the 80 of Kevin Cochran. They kind of had nowhere to go but into that number 01, and that sent the 01 of Eric Minch around as well.
Yeah, so, really nothing either driver could do there. Just racing hard for the last restart, and saw Minch pinch the 14 a little bit, and the 14 was going to slide up a little bit just because of the angle he was at, but just really nothing either driver can do there.
Yeah, well, we are on the final lap here at Eldora, and Dave Wilson has he's pretty much had the field covered all night. He started down in the 11th position, worked his way up to the lead, and once he got to the lead in that number 20 truck, the only man who could really fight him was Tim Masters in the number 9. But Dave Wilson has put on a masterclass on how to get around this dirt track here tonight. Has the checkered flag out in the air, and Dave Wilson takes the first ever SimPossible MS Forward Truck Series dirt race, and will head to victory lane as the fireworks down on the backstretch will light up the sky. Dave Wilson trying to light up the track still as he slides through turn number 3 and 4 down there. I don't think Dave Wilson wants to leave this track because he's come to a rest. We'll see that number 20 burn them down in front of the flames on the French stretch here at Eldora.
And that, of course, his 6th win of the season. He's going to love that for his points situation. Of course, the second in points, just only a few behind Tanner Sharp, and Tanner having a little bit of trouble tonight, going to come home in 12th, so going to be a great points night for that 20 truck.
Yeah, that should put Dave Wilson to the lead of points as he gets a congratulatory bump in the driver's side door from his teammate Chris Roberge in that number 98. Dave Wilson definitely going to be burning them down here at Eldora. What a great track. I love coming here, and I love getting to see these trucks slideways just like that.
Absolutely, and of course burnouts are not like you see at other tracks, so of course you kick up more dirt and dust than you do actual tire smoke, but Dave Wilson actually going to pull into victory lane. There's another truck there. That's number 13 of Capers, kind of in his spot, but Just gonna pull in right behind him and just say hello there. I have won the race, and how are you doing?
Yeah, we'll see what's going on down in Victory Lane here in just a little bit, as we're gonna try and get some of these drivers to talk to us. We got Wilson, Masters, and Digby. And speaking of drivers, we got driver of the number 14 truck, AJ Digby. AJ, it seemed like a up-down night for you. You started third, and at one point, looks like you came down pit road, used your fast repair, got a fresh new truck, and worked your way back up to the front. Tell us a little bit about your night.
Hey, actually started on pole, had the fastest qualifying lap, and pretty good here. I felt like I had a really good start to the race. I was able to get the lead and hold it for the beginning part, and David came storming through the field, so he was super fast tonight, and he stormed through the field, ended up taking the lead, and I was running second behind him for a while, and about halfway through the race, I don't really think I had that much damage, but I took a fast repair anyway, just making sure that I could have a fresh truck. I didn't want to blow my engine or anything like that, and I think in the end it was probably the wrong call because track position was so vital. If you could have that outside line no matter where you were on track, that was so key. And so by going down pit road, that was probably the wrong call by me, but it put me back to the back of the pack, and then I got caught up in a big wreck. Had to fast repair again after that, but was able to work my way back up and ended up third, and had a really fast truck. I was really happy with it. Tim and David were both really fast as well, and like I said, it's just so hard to pass once you actually get going on green. That outside line is just too fast.
Yeah, timing and scoring has not been my friend tonight. Of course, you started on the pole. I got your finishing position, mixed up with your qualifying position. But yeah, you're a Class D on dirt, so I don't think you've done that much dirt. But do you like racing on dirt?
I hope that this pleases my dad, but I grew up when I was very little watching my dad do dirt track racing. He did like a bomber street stock type of division at a local dirt track, and so I grew up from a very young age watching him set up the car, things like that, and pretty much grew up around the little dirt tracks of Northwest Ohio. And so I've always loved and been around dirt, and when iRacing got it, I was happy, but I've really only done practices on it. Only done a few races, mostly like the Dirt Legends Cup and little things like that. I just never felt confident enough at a location in an official series where I didn't want to wreck people and get people pissed off at me because I don't run dirt that much. So it was awesome to be able to actually run it here tonight. This was my first time on the trucks other than practice during the week. And I hope that I made my dad happy with his dirt roots by podiuming today.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool story, AJ, and hopefully we made your father proud here tonight. And we go from a very short dirt oval here at Eldora to a very fast, very large Michigan International Speedway next week, on Monday. That's right. The truck series is now moving to Monday nights. What are your thoughts about Michigan?
I'm excited. I have not been at Michigan in the trucks since the very first race I ever participated with these guys. And in that time, I think I've gotten a lot faster, but I also know these guys have gotten a lot faster as well. So I'm really excited to get back there, get back to racing there, and we'll see what we can do. I feel pretty good right now, at a decent spot in points as well. So just hoping that I can hold on, make the playoffs, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Absolutely. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is your third place finisher. Started on the pole, led 14 laps, and came home third. AJ Digby, we thank you for joining us. Before we let you go, you got any shout-outs for us?
Just thanks to the league, obviously. Jeff puts on a great league. I love running with these guys, and I think a lot of these guys prove people wrong, that people with disabilities can drive pretty much anything, anywhere. Driving on dirt probably was not something that a lot of people thought that we could do, but here we were. I feel like we put on a great show, and thanks for you guys for broadcasting it.
Absolutely. Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, that was your third finisher, AJ Digby. We thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. See you guys.
All right. Well, Cameron Rich has caught up with your second place finisher.
All right. Tim Masters, Cameron Rich up here in the booth. You got a copy?
How you doing?
All right, man. What a fitting last name, Master. You put on a great show tonight. Finished second. Tell us about your race.
I appreciate that. It's pretty fun. Oh, man, I thank the league for being able to be out here. I've never run a dirt track race, so this was pretty awesome and intense and crazy at the same time.
Yeah, I agree, man. That was a great show to watch all around. Your first race tonight in the SimPossible Racing League. Not a bad way to start your career. Just kind of take us through all that.
Yeah, no problem, man. So, like, with my disability, I got issues with muscle strength, right? It's one of those muscle disabilities. And so I have got a rig set up in my wheelchair here where it works, sort of. But it was pretty awesome to get out there. And my plan was just to stay clean all race. And it happened. And my nose stayed clean. And I think that kept me out there in the front. And then I got to loosen up a little bit as the race went on. Didn't have anything for the race leader there, though. He had some skill around them corners.
Yeah, I look at your license class on dirt. You're actually a rookie. You definitely did not drive like one tonight. Very good performance. I do have to ask you though, are you going to be back for next Monday at Michigan?
So I will be back. I don't know that it'll be Monday, but I will be racing with the league on Wednesday nights. Monday night is dart night for me, and I do like to play darts with my community members here.
All right. Well, just in case you do decide to show up next week in Michigan, like just is that a good track for you?
Oh, I love Michigan. They're all great. I think the only one that I really don't like is that one, I think it's Phoenix. I just can't figure that one out.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. Phoenix not one of my favorite tracks, but man, it's great talking to you. Good to see you come out here with a bang tonight. Really good performance to start your SimPossible racing career. We do hope to see you again, but before we let you go, you got some shout-outs for us?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to everyone here in Texas. It's a wonderful place, and that's probably about it.
I'm with you on that, buddy.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is your second place finisher tonight. Started fifth. That's Tim Masters, a new driver to the league. Put on a great show. Good to talk with him. And Peter has caught up with our winner, David Wilson.
Hey, Dave Wilson, this is Peter Short up here in the 3Y TV booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
All right, Dave. You put on a masterclass here tonight. You started a little bit further back. I think your laps might have just got a 0x and been taken away from you in qualifying, but that didn't matter. You worked your way up to the front, and once you got to the point, it didn't really seem like you gave it up. You seemed like you found that high line to the best effect you could here tonight, and you take home the checker flag. Talk us through the race from your perspective.
Yeah, at the start there, the first couple starts, they were kind of bunched up on the high side, and I saw a big gap on the inside, so I took advantage of that, and I gained roughly 5 or 6 positions just like that, and throughout the rest of the race, it was more so just trying to get past everybody, get to the lead. I knew once I got to the lead, I could possibly hold it. Tim Masters was really fast today, AJ Digby as well. It was tough holding those guys off. I found a little bit later on the run, like after the first turn or two, I kind of get a better feel of the track and just get back in the flow of it. It was definitely a really fun race, definitely different. I'm actually kind of excited to race this again next year.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a lot of fun from your perspective out front, and getting that truck sideways. It seemed like you were flirting with that wall quite a bit. Maybe your right side is a little bit narrower than it used to be, but definitely showing your pace here tonight. And also, talk about tonight from a points perspective. You were 8 points behind Tanner coming in. You get the win. You led the halfway point. You led the most laps. What is your goals looking forward? This is your 6th win of the year.
Right now, it's looking like I'll be in the chase, so hopefully I can race my best in the chase. There's a couple of my favorite tracks in there, Martinsville and Bristol being 2 of them. I know it's not going to be an easy points. It's going to be really tight, but hopefully I'll be able to make it work and get away with the win.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned those 2 short tracks that are in the chase. Well, tonight, another short track, and you got the W. And looking forward to next week, we got Michigan on Monday night here on 3Wide TV. We'll move over to the Monday night for the Truck Series. And first off, you're going to be racing on Monday nights. And secondly, if you are, what are your thoughts about Michigan?
I do intend to race on Monday nights. Michigan's not my favorite track of them all. I'm not a big fan of the large moment tracks. I just can't seem to get a really good groove in them. I'm gonna do my best though next week and just try to keep up with AJ Digby and Nate Cotillo because I know that both of those guys are really fast on the Michigan. So I hope to keep pace with them and just hope for a good finish.
All right, and we got the B car next Wednesday night. Are you running that as well?
Yes, you'll be seeing me in that as well.
All right, sweet. Well, before we let you go, you got some shout-outs for us?
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate everybody here on this race. It was a big accomplishment for us all to finish this race tonight. It definitely took a week's practice to get used to it, but once we did, I found we definitely had a lot less cautions than some might think. There were some green flag runs, and whenever there were green flag runs, they were nice action-packed, good tight racing for most of it. I'd like to thank you guys up here in the booth for broadcasting these every week and commentating every week. Everybody always loves going back and watching these after we race to see what happened throughout the rest of the race, because whenever you're racing, you can only see your perspective, so it's always nice to be able to see what was happening elsewhere and what happened with all the cautions and stuff. I'd like to thank Jeff Schmidt as well for making this league possible. Without him, this would not be possible, and a lot of these guys would feel uncomfortable racing with the public just in case they do wreck somebody and somebody starts bashing them. It can get frustrating at times, but it's definitely a nice thing to do every week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun to be up here in the booth, and hopefully y'all enjoy it. And I really appreciate you coming up here, and we'll see you next week at Michigan and in the B Cart. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, thank you.
All right, well, that is tonight's winner, Dave Wilson, driving the number 20 Toyota Tundra. And now Cameron Rich has caught up with league owner Jeff Schmidt.
I got him, the man himself, Jeff Schmidt. You got a copy?
Cameron, what's up, buddy?
Oh man, both myself and Peter said we had this race circled on our calendars all season long. And I think the fireworks before and after kind of show how we felt. That was a great race to watch.
Yeah, it was crazy. It definitely was crazy. We expected it to be. I will say though that the guys continue to surprise me week in and week out with their talent. I mean, everyone knows, especially if you've ever raced an iRacing service, that these trucks at Eldora, they're not easy to handle. And those guys did an amazing job. There's a few little setbacks here and there, but I mean, you watch any race at Eldora and the trucks like that, and it's about the same in real life. I'm very proud of the green flag runs that we did have and the racing that we got out of it. There's no doubt about it. I'm ecstatic.
Absolutely. You kind of expect a little bit of carnage here and there at a track like this. They do it in real life too, so it's not a dig at anyone. These guys did a great job, but I do kind of want to ask you about something. Actually, I think the cat is out of the bag though. I do hear this series is moving to Monday nights next week.
Yes, sir. Tonight was our last race on a Wednesday for a truck series. After tonight, next Monday will be our next MS Forward Truck Series race. And the following Wednesday will be the start of our Xfinity Series, which we're really looking forward to. The schedule's up. It's a full 33 race series, and we couldn't be more excited for it. It's 2/3 of the actual race that in real life NASCAR guys race for every track, and the same dates. So, well, not the same exact date, but the same week rather. So when there's an off week in real life, we have an off week, and it's gonna play well with being able to watch the races in real life, and then being able to race that week to be able to practice in official races on iRacing, and carry that over to the race that week in the truck series or the Xfinity series rather. I think it's going to be really great.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be good seeing these guys race some a little bit more tough to drive cars, a little bit more horsepower, a little bit less downforce. So I think it'll be a little bit of a different beast. But we do have one more race until the chase starts. Michigan, of course, being the last race beforehand. I know you probably don't want to be too impartial with, or actually, I think I got my English mixed up there, but What are you like? I guess what I'm trying to ask is, do you kind of think the pecking order is set for the rest of the field, or do you think somebody's going to come in and kind of steal the championship away?
Well, we have a few things that are going to be going on. I'm not going to get into specifics of it. The running order of the top 8 that are going to go into the chase it's going to change before we get there, and that's not necessarily just because of tonight's race or even what we think could happen at Michigan. There's other reasoning behind it, but I don't think a whole lot set in stone other than maybe the top few positions are kind of locked in at this moment. Anything could happen. We've seen a lot of crazy stuff happen, but I expect most of the top 8 to make it in the positions that they are to carry over. But then again, I mean, you could see someone do really good and bump them off. So it's up in the air right now. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I asked that question because I've been actually talking to some of the drivers, and a lot of them saying like, you know, some are getting better, and you know, the competition is ramping up each and every week, which is so great to see. And we have some wild card races in the chase, so going to be really exciting to watch. Now, Dave Wilson said he's looking forward to some of those. Anyway, Jeff, thank you so much for talking to us week in and week out. We appreciate you putting on this league and letting us talk about it a little bit. It's great to see it, but we know you got some shout outs for us.
Yeah, I'm sure that you guys seen at the beginning, or rather the end of our practice, at the beginning of the broadcast, we went out and did a tribute for Tom Johnson's son, Nicholas, who unfortunately his life was taken 3 years ago, and our hearts and prayers go out to him more than they could ever imagine. We're here for them. It's such a sad thing, sad situation that he's been in, to lose his son Nicholas, and we're there for him. We care about that, and there's nothing words can say to bring Nicholas back, but we surely can show all the support that we can show and let him know that we're here for him. So Tom, we love you, buddy, and we're here for you. You guys up in the booth and 3 Wide TV for doing the broadcasting. You guys do an amazing job always. Can't wait to watch the race after the race. That's the first thing I'm doing as soon as I'm done talking to you, is I'm going to watch this replay. It's always a whole new perspective, and it's great to see. And you, Cameron, and Peter, and whoever else commentates, you guys do an amazing job commentating, and the personalities that come with it. It's a blast to watch. MS Forward, our sponsor of the Truck Series, that's unfortunately going to be coming to an end sooner than later. Not our sponsorship, but the Truck Series. Thank you, Daryl, for doing what you've done. Go check out ms4.org. It's a gym in Omaha, Nebraska that's designed and dedicated to disabled individuals to work out and rehab, and man, what they do is really cool. Check them out. They got some really unique things that they do with using technology to help people work out that can't necessarily make it out to the gym, called telefitness. So it's a really inspiring program, and I'd like everyone to go to ms4.org and check them out. So thank you, Daryl. GoFastRacing.us and Skylar Allen. Skylar has been a great help with everything that we've done in this league, and if anyone's looking for a league to join, it's not necessarily a disabled league, go check GoFastRacing.us out and fill out a driver sign-up form out on that website. Otherwise, if you are or know a disabled racer, then go to SimPossibleRacing.com and fill out or have them come to fill out a driver sign-up form to join us on track. It's a great thing. We've got a couple new drivers. We want to welcome Tim Masters, and what a great job he did tonight as well. So yeah, it's overall it's been a blast, and we're looking forward to the Xfinity Series. We're looking forward to pushing through and doing every little thing that we can to help these drivers out and to have fun. There sure was a lot of laughs out there tonight, which you don't always get at Eldora. So it's all appreciated, and we love all these guys.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for talking to us. And just to let everybody know, click that link in the description to watch Nick Johnson's tribute video, and of course when this replay goes up. go ahead and watch that little 3 wide, 4 wide salute these drivers did at the start of the race. That was the end of practice, but really awesome gesture to see that. Watching Tom lead the field around like that. Very, not much more things that are cooler in life than to see race cars just do that. But I know Nick would love to see that in his memory. But thank you, Jeff, for talking to us each and every week. We do appreciate it. And I do think we have some results for you guys.
All right, well, I will run down the finishing order, and of course tonight's winner, we talked with him, driver number 20, Dave Wilson, and I think he'll assume the points lead, but the chase is looming. Tim Masters in the number 9 on debut finishes in the 2nd position. AJ Digby finishes 3rd. Kevin Cochran comes home 4th. Kyle Zimmer 5th. In the 6th position, we had Alan Capers, and man, that number 13 truck was all the way up and down through the running order tonight, but comes home with a solid 6th place finish. Tom Johnson is finishing in the 7th position. Brian Lowhead finishes 8th. Chris Roberge finishes 9th. Thomas Wise rounds out your top 10.
And finishing in 11th place, we have Eric Minch, who was way up to the front and unfortunately did not get the finish he wanted. Tanner Sharp was not too excited about his shot tonight, but not going to be the result he wanted. Nate Catilla, also another one who's not going to be pleased with that finish. Billy Wise, a little bit of connection issues there at the beginning and middle of the race. And Tim Connolly rounded out the field in 15th.
Well, man, that was an exciting race. Like I said, had this one circled all the way from the beginning of the season. Been looking forward to it all year, and it has now come and passed. But it was definitely an exciting race, as 3 and 4 wide on the dirt always puts on a fantastic show. And next week we got another racetrack that lends itself to some great side-by-side action at Michigan Speedway on Monday night. Make sure to make that adjustment here if you're following along weekly in the SimPossible MS Forward Truck Series, because we'll be, again, Monday night next week. This time next week on Wednesday night, we'll have the SimPossible Racing League B-Car Series here on 3Y TV. We're looking forward to seeing you then. Last shout out to give is thanks to SimTV for their cameras, which were absolutely awesome as we watched this race tonight, and Carlos Acosta manning those cameras. We really appreciate the hard work they put together for us each and every week. Well, until next week here on 3Y TV, I'm Peter Short, and for Cameron Rich and Carlos Acosta, I bid you all good night, and we'll see you next week.